We started working with CEnet, I believe it was around 2014, it might have been 2015. They had been around for a few years at that point. They were what you'd call a startup, and they knew they had a good culture. They knew that that culture was cemented in some of that startup mentality. And what they really wanted to understand was how could they solidify this culture and maintain it as part of their DNA.
I joined the organisation back in 2019, and we had already started working with Ollie from Human Synergistics on culture. And I think we've realised at that time that it was a really key ingredient to our employee engagement and moving forward as an organisation to be fully optimised to deliver services to our customer base.
The attraction for CEnet was the services they provide to the Catholic education sector. So it's really providing equity across each of the dioceses that we serve, whether that be a rural setting or a very metropolitan type arrangement. So the equity of providing technology services that are very consistent across that foundation was a huge attraction for me to join the organisation.
So we needed to obviously quantify what their culture was, which is why the OCI and OEI are really valuable tools. We could go beyond just this is the way we tend to talk to each other and behave towards each other as to the whys. So we went through a pretty robust OCI, OEI process. We set our ideal culture as well. We got the portion of the population to do that so that the organisation CEnet felt like they owned that ideal culture. And then we had every employee undertake the OCI and OEI. It's been terrific with CEnet. Over the 5 times that we've done the OCI, OEI, I think the lowest completion rate we've had is 95%.
We looked at our ideal culture back in the day and how that would compare with other organisations, and I think we saw that there's probably an opportunity for us to really just get the most out of our employees. So looking at those constructive styles, and we've been really focused on those constructive styles over the years, and they have been a mainstay from our culture performance as well, and how that really interacts with our employee engagement going forward.
So the key actions in doing that was we were very fortunate that we had that constructive culture there already. So we went quite quickly to the OEI component of the process, and we really wanted to understand where was sort of this, I don't want to call it a disconnect because nothing was below the 50th percentile, the constructive percentile, but I suppose where were the opportunities for that enhancement? That was what we were looking for. And we really identified in those early days that it was around kind of getting some stronger alignment around significance. So being able to peel back some of the layers for the CEnet employees to see where their end work, where their end thoughts and initiatives landed with that end user, that outcome of their effort was sitting. And then secondly, we needed to just build some greater collaboration and cohesion between the structures of how goals were being set and agreed to, and getting that into a greater cadence and rhythm with the way that the tech industry was operating as well. It was kind of a slight disconnect there, which was making alignment to goals over a 12-month period a little bit hard for staff to follow.
Continuing with Human Synergistics and the work that we do here, super important in terms of continuing to evolve ourselves as an organisation and the people within the organisation. So it's been incredibly positive to come into such a strong culture and helping to build on those foundations to continue to improve that, not only for our people but also for the members and the people we serve.
I joined CEnet 4 weeks ago, and I will say walking in from day one, I got a sense of really strong leadership team, which obviously leadership drives culture, and it was felt from day one of me working there. So definitely a really strong culture at CEnet.
Each 2 years when we do the survey, we put a comprehensive plan together with Ollie, and I think that understanding that Ollie has of our organisation really helps. He knows our people, he knows our team structure, and his action plan that he puts in place in conjunction with our leadership team really helps us to target improvements year on year. So each year we do it, we look at what areas have been a bit soft from a survey perspective or a result perspective, and we really target those so that we are constantly maintaining but also looking to improve. And I think, little plug, this is our 4th Culture Award, So really happy that we've been able to sustain our culture over those years, but also looking at improving it year on year.
The future's absolutely exciting. As I said, the foundation of the culture that we've created is one that can only continue to get better and stronger within the organisation. So the initiatives that we build on the back of the last and the latest survey are going to be hugely important for us to continue that positive momentum and that journey moving forward.
Working through the strategic plan, a lot of the priorities in the people space are a real focus on leadership development and some culture initiatives. So looking at developing a stronger leadership framework, which is great, obviously creating that professional development for our leaders and doing some really focused culture activities.
My final piece of advice would be that there's no organisation too big or too small to undertake an OCI OEI project, or also undertake a culture development, culture sustainability project as well. My first piece of advice I'd say is there's also no time that's too early in your company's journey to look at your culture and sort of underpin the parts that you want and work on those areas that you need, that if you improve are going to help you take you to the next level.
I think, again, it starts from the top. So I think having alignment from your leadership team, communication and transparency. So I think bringing everyone on board of the journey, and also collaboration. I think when we're talking about culture, it's an all-in approach. So I think engagement, having everyone in the room getting together, sharing the strategic vision with your people, I think really helps build a strong culture.